Hello friends, I Deepak Prajapati welcome you in my lecture series on complex analysis. In earlier two lectures, we have discussed about complex exponential function. Today we are going to discuss about complex logarithmic function. So we will first define complex logarithmic function and then we will discuss some properties of complex logarithmic function. Now as in the case of real logarithm, we know that if x is any positive real number, then only we can define logarithm of x. So here we are going to generalize this concept of logarithmic function from real numbers to complex numbers. So in contrast to real numbers, complex logarithmic function is denoted by ln z and it is defined for every non-zero complex number. Now if we recall for real logarithm, then it is inverse of exponential function. We know that if e raised to x equal to y, then this x is known as the logarithm of y. So here also we have the same definition. Complex logarithmic function is also defined as inverse of complex exponential function. So now we define first what is definition of logarithmic function for complex number. So as we discussed, it is defined for every non-zero complex number. So we start by taking any non-zero complex number z, and as I discussed, complex logarithmic function is also inverse of complex exponential function. So if e raised to w equal to z for some complex number w, then this w is called the natural logarithm of given non-zero complex number z and is denoted by ln z or log z. So therefore the natural logarithmic function is defined as the inverse of the exponential function. Now we try to develop the formula for this log z. So if e raised to w is z, then we try to find out the formula for w or ln z. So we remember this, if e raised to w is z, then this w is called the logarithm of z, and as we know, e raised to w is never 0 for any complex number w. So this is the reason why we started with non-zero complex number, because e raised to w is non-zero for any complex number. Therefore we can define logarithm of non-zero complex numbers only. So now we try to find out the formula for logarithm of complex number z using this definition. So in this equation, suppose e raised to w is z, so we take z equal to r into e raised to I theta. Because z is non-zero complex number, we can find out its polar form. So suppose z is r into e raised to I theta, where r is modulus of z and theta is argument of z, and suppose w is u plus iv. Then if we substitute value of w and z here, we will have e raised to w is u plus iv equal to z is r into e raised to I theta. So this we can rewrite as e raised to u into e raised to iv using property of complex exponential function equal to r into e raised to I theta. So now this complex number is in polar form r into e raised to I theta. So polar form of this complex number e raised to u into e raised to iv is nothing but r into e raised to I theta. So therefore this r is nothing but modulus of e raised to u into e raised to iv, and it is equal to e raised to u because, as we have discussed in earlier lectures, absolute value of e raised to iv is always 1. So from this we can write that r equal to e raised to u. Similarly, if we compare this with, if we write this as e raised to u into cos v plus I sin v, then this theta is nothing but angle v. That is, theta is nothing but argument of this complex number. This complex number is nothing but e raised to w, and argument of e raised to w is this small v. So therefore we can write v equal to theta. Now here u and this is now real exponential function because u is real number and r is also modulus of z, which is positive real number. So from this we can write u equal to log r. Here we are using the definition of real exponential function. We are using the fact that a real exponential function and real logarithmic function are inverses of each other. So therefore e raised to u equal to r, this implies u equal to log r. Again I repeat, this is logarithm of positive real number. This is not complex logarithm, and we write v equal to theta. So we are interested in w. So w is u plus iv, and therefore w is log z, as I have defined. If e raised to w is z, then w is nothing but logarithm of z. So w is log z, u is log r, and v is theta, where r is modulus of z, which is positive because z is non-zero, and theta is argument of z. So from this we obtain the formula for logarithm of non-zero complex number. ln z is defined as ln modulus of z plus I into argument of z. Now we know that for any complex number, argument of z is having infinite number of values. That is, argument of z is multi-valued function, and log z depends on the argument of z. This shows that logarithm of complex number is also a multi-valued function, or there are infinite number of values for logarithm of any complex number. For example, if I consider z equal to 1, then log 1 is not unique. If we consider 1 as complex number, then there are infinite number of values for logarithm of 1 if we consider 1 as a complex number. So we will see examples of logarithmic function in the next lecture. In this lecture our aim is to define logarithmic function and to discuss its properties. So here we have written, since argument of z is multi-valued function, the complex logarithmic function is also multi-valued function. Now if we recall the definition of principal argument, then it is denoted by capital ARGZ, and it is the value of argument which lies in open close interval minus pi to pi, and we know that argument of principal argument of z is always unique. So if we are using, instead of general argument, if we are using principal argument in this definition, then the value of logarithm will be unique, because we know that principal argument of any complex number is unique value. So if we are using principal argument for a given non-zero complex number, then the corresponding logarithm function will have unique value, So in that case, this logarithmic function is known as principal logarithmic function, or we can say that it is principal logarithm of z. So the principal logarithm of z is nothing but value of log z. The value of logarithm of z corresponding to the principal value argument z is denoted by ln z or capital log z, log z. So this capital L denotes the principal logarithm and is called the principal value of z or principal logarithm of z. So here if we write capital ln z here, then here general argument is replaced by capital argz. Again z must be non-zero complex number, and because capital argument z, principal argument of z is unique, principal logarithm is also unique. So now we discuss some properties of logarithmic function. We can prove that e raised to log z is nothing but z. So to prove this, first we find out log z. So because z is non-zero complex number, we can start with polar form of z. Suppose polar form of z is r into e raised to I theta, then by definition log z is ln modulus of z, which is r, plus I into argument of z. Okay, now we have to remember this definition. Log of non-zero complex number z is log of mod z plus I into argument of z. So if we take z equal to r into e raised to I theta, absolute value of z is r and argument of z is theta. So log z is ln r plus I theta, but we require e to the power log z. So here we replace this log z by log r plus I theta. Now using property of exponential function, this we can rewrite as e raised to log r into e raised to I theta. Now this logarithm and exponential are real functions, so we can use the property e raised to log r is r, because r is positive real number, log r is nothing but real logarithm. So using that property we can write e raised to log r equal to small r into e raised to I theta, and r into e raised to I theta is nothing but z. So it is z here, so therefore we have shown that e raised to log z equal to z. So we have shown that e raised to log z equal to z for any non-zero complex number z. Next property is we have to show that log of e raised to z equal to z plus or minus 2n pi I. N is 0, 1, 2 and so on. So if you recall, if we talk about real exponential function, then log of e raised to x is always x for any x which is positive real number. So this property is analogous to this property, but instead of z here we have this infinite number of complex numbers in the addition plus or minus 2n pi. So this is the difference between real and complex logarithmic function. This happens because this function is multi-valued function and this is single valued function. So we cannot write log of e raised to z equal to simply z if we are considering complex logarithmic function. So let's try to prove this property. So we want to determine log of e raised to z. So as we know, definition of log z is log of mod z plus I into argument of z. Now here we require log of e raised to z. So first we have to determine absolute value of e raised to z and argument of e raised to z. So we start by taking z equal to x plus iy. Now by the definition of complex exponential function, if z is x plus iy, e raised to z is e raised to x into cos y plus I sin y. Therefore modulus of e raised to z is e raised to x and argument of e raised to z is y plus or minus 2n pi to include all possible values of argument. So we have absolute value of e raised to z and argument of e raised to z. So we can apply the definition of logarithm. By the definition, log z is ln mod z plus I into argument of z. Z is non-zero complex number. So here we require log of e raised to z. So we replace z by e raised to z. That means log of e raised to z is log of absolute value of e raised to z plus I into argument of e raised to z. And this is defined because we know that e raised to z is always non-zero for any complex number, either 0 or non-zero. Now we put values of absolute value of e raised to z and argument of e raised to z. So absolute value of e raised to z is e raised to x and this is y plus or minus 2n pi. So therefore log of e raised to z is log of e raised to x plus I times y plus or minus 2n pi, n equal to 0, 1, 2 and so on. Now here this is real logarithmic function and we know that real logarithmic function and real exponential function are inverses of each other. So this we can rewrite as log of e raised to x equal to x. So that I have replaced by small x. Log of e raised to x is small x. And here I multiply this bracket by I. So that I can rewrite as I into y plus or minus 2n pi into I. Now if you concentrate here, it is x plus iy which is z plus or minus 2n pi I. So therefore log of e raised to z is z plus or minus 2n pi I, n equal to 0, 1, 2 and so on. And if we don't want to write in this way, we can write ln e raised to z equal to z plus 2n pi I. Instead of writing in this way, we can write n belongs to z. So n is any integer. Okay, both are the same thing. Here we are including positive and negative signs both. Therefore we are writing n equal to 0, 1, 2 and so on. So try to understand the difference between a real logarithmic function and complex logarithmic function. Okay, this is single valued, this is multi-valued. Next property is similar to the property of real logarithmic function. For real logarithmic function, we know that log xy equal to log x plus log y for any two positive real numbers x and y. So this property is also similar to this one. Suppose z1 and z2 are any two non-zero complex numbers, then log of z1 into z2 equal to log z1 plus log z2. But keep in mind, here we are having infinite number of values in each term. Log of z1 is having infinite number of values, log of z2 is having infinite number of values, and log of z1 into z2 is also having infinite number of values. So these are not only three values. So we have to interpret this statement in this way. Suppose two values of these three values, suppose two of these three logarithms are specified, or suppose two of these three logarithms are given, then there always exists at least one value of third logarithm such that this equation is satisfied. So you have to consider interpretation of this statement in that way, because we are having three different sets. In one set we are having values of log z1, in another set we are having values of log z2, in another set we are having values of log z1 into z2. Now we try to prove this. We start from left hand side. Okay, we use the definition of log z. Log z is log of mod z plus I into argument of z. So now we start by taking z equal to z1 into z2. So by definition, log of z1 into z2 equal to log of absolute value of z1 into z2 plus I into argument of z1 into z2. Now as we know, absolute value of z1 into z2 is nothing but product of their absolute values, and I keep this as it is. Now z1 and z2 are non-zero complex numbers. That means absolute value of z1 is positive and absolute value of z2 is also positive. That means both are positive real numbers. So now this is the logarithm of real numbers, mod z1 and mod z2. So here we can use the property of real numbers. This property, log of x into y equal to log x plus log y. So using that property we can write log of mod z1 into mod z2 equal to log of mod z1 plus log of mod z2. Now argument of z1 into z2 can be written as argument of z1 plus argument of z2, that I have shown in my earlier lecture series on complex numbers. So this is now, so using this argument of z1 into z2 can be written as argument of z1 plus argument of z2. Now we combine these two, log of mod z1 plus I into argument of z1, and similarly we can combine these two, log of mod z2 plus I into argument of z2. So you can see this first one is nothing but logarithm of z1 and second one is nothing but logarithm of z2. So we are able to prove this property, log of z1 into z2 equal to log z1 plus log z2. So as I discussed, we have to interpret this statement in this way. If values of two of three logarithms are specified, then there is a value of the third logarithm such that this statement holds. So these are not only three values, there are infinite number of values for each logarithm. So if we know two of these three values, then there always exists at least one value of third such that this statement holds. Next property, log of z1 by z2 is log z1 minus log z2 for any two non-zero complex numbers. So this is also similar to the property of real logarithm. We know that log of x by y is log x minus log y for any two positive real numbers x and y. So this property is generalization of that property for positive real numbers. So this also we can prove by definition. So log of z1 by z2 is log of absolute value of z1 by z2 plus I times argument of z1 by z2. Now using property of absolute value, we can write absolute value of z1 by z2 equal to absolute value of z1 divided by absolute value of z2 plus I times, we keep this as it is. Now again z1 and z2 are non-zero complex numbers, therefore absolute value of z1 is positive, absolute value of z2 is positive. So therefore absolute value of z1 and absolute value of z2 are positive real numbers. Therefore this is now real logarithm. So we can use the property of real logarithm. So we can write this as log of mod z1 minus log of mod z2. And using property of argument, we can write this as argument of z1 minus argument of z2. So that I have written here log of mod z1 by mod z2 equal to log mod z1 minus log mod z2, and this is argument of z1 divided by z2. And rearranging this, if we combine these two, log mod z1 plus I into argument of z1, and here negative of log mod z2 minus I times negative of argument of z2, and taking negative side outside, we obtain log mod z2 plus I into argument of z2. So this first one is log of z1 minus this is log of z2 by the definition of logarithmic function. So we are able to prove this last property also. Again we have to interpret this statement as we have interpreted in property 3. That is, if two of these three logarithms are specified, then there is at least one value of third logarithm such that this equality is satisfied. So this is all about logarithmic function, complex logarithmic function. So we have discussed complex logarithmic function as inverse of complex exponential function. If e raised to w is z, then this w is nothing but logarithm of z, and because we know that e raised to w is never 0, logarithmic function is defined for non-zero complex numbers. Now what is the difference between real and complex logarithmic function? So here this is defined for positive real numbers only. Here it is defined for any non-zero complex number. Sorry, this is log z and log x. Difference between complex logarithmic function and real logarithmic functions. So log z is defined for every non-zero complex number. Log x is defined only for positive real numbers. So here we cannot define log of -1. That is possible here if we consider complex logarithmic function. Here we have infinite number of values for logarithm of any complex number. So this is multi-valued function. This is single valued function. Okay, so there are some similarities and differences also. So this is all about today's session. We have discussed definition and properties of complex logarithmic function, and in the next lecture we will do some problems on complex logarithmic function. So I hope you like this lecture. If you are watching this channel first time, kindly subscribe this channel for upcoming lectures of engineering mathematics. Thank you very much.